Hello, good evening, Nigerians, and welcome to We the People Show on the Universal Heritage TV Niger channel. As we broadcast, we are live on Facebook and YouTube for this program, so you can join us and watch live as we broadcast. I'm Obidi Mark, your host, and I'm broadcasting from Vancouver in Canada. Here in Canada, it's 11 a.m. on the dot, and in Nigeria, I know it's 7 p.m. on the dot. Today, we want to look at the Labour Party of Nigeria. Everybody knows what the Labour Party means in Nigeria. Labour Party is like I think he moved from the third force to the second force now, if not the first force, because of the way that everybody's interested in the party and the fear that resonates when the name of the party and its presidential candidate is mentioned in the Nigerian polity. Okay, today we want to look at the state of the Labour Party as INEC has rejected the convention, the recent convention held by Julius Abure to ascertain its leadership. INEC recently, confirmed that they did not monitor that convention, which means they did not recognize it. And we are going to look other related matters concerning the state and welfare of the Labour Party. And I have a guest with me to discuss the issue today, a very grounded person when it has to do with the issue concerning the party. She is the immediate past treasurer of the Labour Party. I'm talking about Oluchi Opara. Oluchi, you're welcome to We the People Show.
Yeah, good evening, my brother. But before I start, I want to actually sympathize with the Nigerian government and the Nigeria as a whole, and even we in the Igbo race on the passing of Ohanes and Igbo. He just
Yeah,
passed not quite.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the
I was also,
Emmanuel passed at the age of 82. Yes,
yeah,
as
I
it
was also
is.
going to say that it's a big loss in Igbo land, in Nigeria, in Africa, and the world as a whole. It's a big loss. Chief Emmanuel Iwanyan Aheja Gambandi Igbo is a very notable figure, highly respected, very influential, a man who has contributed so much in human capacity development. Iwanyan has trained a lot of people. A lot of people has grown through him. So we are deeply, pained by his exit. But we will take solace in the fact that he lived a good life. He lived an impactful life all his life. And death is beyond our control. So when it happens, we can only raise our hands and surrender to God and pray that his soul will rest in peace. So we
Amen.
console every person from Ata in Ikeduru to Ikeduru local government to Imo State to Nigeria to Africa. Everybody should, bear this loss, and we pray that God will grant us the fortitude to be able to, bear it. All right. That
Yeah.
being said, yeah, we move on to the discussion for today. So, Oluchi, you are in Abuja. So, what's the situation like in Abuja? What's the weather like? Here in Vancouver, it just started raining this morning. It's been very hot for some days now. We're in summer, but this morning it just rained.
Yeah, it actually rained yesterday all throughout. It rained all throughout yesterday, but today we had a very good weather today. So I
Oh,
think the weather is very okay here in Abuja for
oh,
today.
that's good.
Yes.
That's good. Okay. Before even we go deep into the discussion, people are talking about the national protest. The nation. Days of is it days of rage or day of rage? Because I know it's going to run from 1st to 10th of August, so definitely it's going to be days of rage. Are you seeing anything around that suggests like people are actually enthusiastic or prepared to participate in such a protest?
First of all, I want to say it's within our right to protest for anything that we don't agree with. Mr. President, Mr. Tinubu there was the grandfather of protests when he wasn't even the Nigerian president. I think people have every right to protest for what they do not believe in. Like now, for instance, we have hunger in the land, out of school children. There are so many things. Insecurity. In fact, price of things has skyrocketed from 1 to 300%. So people have every right to protest in a very peaceful manner. Mind the word, peaceful manner, devoid of offensive. Of course, I've heard a lot of you saying that they're going to protest because why would they not protest in the right as like in the first instance? Because things are not the way they should be. People people are preparing to protest. But I want to advise them that whatever protests they're going to do, I want to also advise the Nigerian government, the police, the security agents, that they should make sure they secure this our youths trying to protest, because I'm sure it's going to be a very peaceful one. Yes.
Okay. All right, so we'll continue with the discussion for the day. For those who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, you can drop your comments. We can pick them up and then read them out as they drop in. But I know Facebook, I don't know if Facebook is having an issue with the app, but definitely YouTube is on. Okay, so let's go ahead. I want you to give us a kind of a background of what the situation presently is in the Labour Party. I know that recently INEC came out to say that they don't have any, I mean, they did not supervise or oversaw the convention that happened in Oka. I mean, the Newi convention, that presumably was supposed to throw up the new leadership of the Labour Party, having the executive having their tenure expired, some few months ago or even last year. I don't know. You are going to put us right. So, what is the situation at the moment?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think I'm in the right position to answer you this question. Haven't been in the Labour Party, haven't served my two terms as a treasurer of the Labour Party. I want to state here that our tenure came to a conclusive end on the 9th of June of this year. Why did I say so? We came on board on 2019, and by 2019 we are supposed to leave office by 2023. But because of the judiciary that has to do with the outcome of the presidential election, we now ask for an extension by 1 year. And by all ramification, the extension by virtue of our election and by the extension, all the tenure came to a conclusive end on the 9th of June 2024. And Abure and cronies called themselves together to, at first, the notice they gave was at Edo, from Edo to Abia Umahia, where our able working governor deemed it fit to ask them to move the thing away from his state, because he was beginning to raise unnecessary eyebrow. What are the eyebrows for? Because Abure has been asked to go and do a wider consultation to do an all-inclusive convention, because before now what we had was not a proper political party, but because we already have people that knows what politics is all about, they are coming on board. Now we have to do things the right way. So His Excellency Mr. Dr. Alex Oti now asked Abure to remove it from his state. At that instant, I heard Abure also tried to move it to Oka, but when that was not visible enough, he now had to move it to Newi in Anambra State. But within all this moving that he was doing, he was in INEC guideline for 2022 on a political party. You are supposed to meet up with some guidelines that stipulates for any change to be effected, you have to give at least 7 days for any change of whatsoever. They did not meet up. What they had was 6 days. And again, the delegate election, the act has already said that there must be an elective or special congress to elect delegates that's supposed to elect those that will now be our leaders at the national level. But all of those were never in place. What Abure and cronies did was to put themselves in one room to pick 5 persons to now go and re-elect himself. For a goodness sake, we are the in thing as far as political parties is concerned in Nigeria. Our convention was supposed to be a celebrated one. Nobody even knew about it. It's supposed to be an elective, a competitive kind of election. But all of those and a whole lot of things that made INEC, in fact, even before that convention, I wrote to INEC on the 25th of March telling INEC that there are a lot of reasons why they should not be in attendance for that. And a lot of people also raised eyebrow, wrote INEC. What was my reason? I said, as treasurer of Labour Party, I'm not even aware that there was going to be a national convention. So if I'm not aware, so who and who is aware? So I now go to INEC office, and I want to really, from the depth of my heart, to commend the Independent National Electoral Commission chairman, Mahmood Yakubu, for standing and upholding democracy. I want to congratulate the entire commission for having boycotted that thing they had in Nnewi, and that gave rise to the letter they wrote, giving us this letter to say that they did not monitor and they cannot report on what they never monitored. Let me also tell Nigerians that before that time, Abure and cronies, having done what they did in Nnewi, they also came up with a constitution that would suit what they did. That they tagged 2024 constitution as amended. But when we wrote to INEC to know what constitution that they have in their hand, look at what INEC gave to us. 2019 constitution showing that whatever they did, this is to show that it's from INEC, certified true copy from INEC, stipulating that whatever Abure and cronies did in Newi is null and void and not even recognized by them. Not only that, I want to also bring to our notice that there is this consent judgment that Abure, the then national chairman of our party, and Mr. Farouk Umar, the national secretary of our party, with the then NLC president Ayuba Waba in presence of INEC, who mediated, they signed a consent judgment that there is going to be an all-inclusive convention. Before that commission was called, Abure, having known that there is a consent judgment, was in NLC today. And the next day, they heard, as I also heard, that there was going to be a convention. Abure never respected the document he signed, never respected all the terms that made up that agreement that he signed. He went ahead to do what he did in Newi. I want to remind us here again that sometimes that the INEC wrote a letter to Labour Party reminding Labour Party to comply with the consent judgments. So
Okay.
all this and that put together were now I think formed the basis that made INEC not to be in attendance in what happened in Newi.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so by implication, just like INEC has also stated, is that that convention is not recognized, right? So now,
It's
if it's
not.
not recognized and the tenure has elapsed, the tenure of Abure has elapsed. I mean, who is now leading the Labour Party? What is INEC's view about leadership? Is INEC still corresponding with Abure in terms of party leadership issues, or has INEC cut off, you know, leadership communication with the Abure-led executive?
Okay, thank you. I've often seen documents Abure and cronies are peddling around saying that it comes from INEC. I'm not surprised because it can do and undo. But as it is now, the stakeholders, the real owners of Labour Party, they have come up to form what is called National Transition Committee that will now supersede the affairs of Labour Party, pending when a proper and a wider convention is called. And Abure is free to contest. My issue with him is let it be a free and fair election where everybody is allowed to participate. Nobody's asking him not to participate. If Abure emerges in a properly conducted convention, I personally will congratulate him, but not him bringing himself into a one room and wanting to announce himself a chairman. Is he a lifetime chairman? Is he a personal property? Is he his personal company? No,
Okay.
it is
So,
not.
so these stakeholders you mentioned now, I remember vividly that recently the Nigerian Labour Congress didn't mince word in saying that they were the founders of the Labour Party and major stakeholders in the party, and they made a lot of efforts to. There was a time occupied the party secretariat. I don't know if they have left there, but the last time I saw, they were going there and the gates were locked, and they were refused entrance. And the stakeholders committee they set up, to what extent are they functioning? Who is presently liaising with INEC as regards Labour Party? I mean, who is calling the shots when it comes to correspondence with INEC?
Okay, as it is, the NCC, the chairman of the NCC, who is the former NLC president, Abdul Wahid Umar Ibrahim, reaches out to INEC for all these things. Like if there's anything that's the commission, like the NCC needs, they go to INEC and they reach out to INEC for correspondence. And I don't also know where Abure is also getting his correspondence from. But at the end of the day, we are going to know who truly is saying the truth as regards to who INEC is dealing with.
Is there any legal matter on this issue? Is there any matter in court concerning the leadership of the Labour Party with, with respect to this convention and
Yeah,
the claim by Nigerian Labour Congress?
yeah, a whole lot of people have gone to court to protest what Abure and cronies did in Newi. But again, this is an administrative matter. A court of jurisdiction has already given a consent judgment that is yet to be obeyed. Now, I know this whole thing starts and ends with INEC because INEC has to deal with this thing administratively. So it's not everything shouldn't begin and end in court. There is a judgment already. So INEC, the onion lies with INEC now, on INEC now, to do the needful because they mediated in this whole process. So the onion lies on them now to do the needful.
Okay. Let's move a bit away from this one and some other, surrounding issues around the Labour Party. Talking about Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the party in 2023. Because why I'm saying this is people are seeing, people are thinking, some analysts are thinking that there are frantic efforts by certain quarters to dismantle or to weaken his solidarity, especially within the ranks of the rebel party.
Hello,
So, yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. So some analysts are thinking that there are frantic efforts by certain quarters to make sure that Peter Obi's base is watered, down, made non-strong. Do you think what is happening in the Labour Party is all about Peter Obi, or is it about individual interests of the leadership?
Yes, my personal opinion, I think it has to do with the external influence. Because if Abure truly believes in Labour Party, because the name Labour Party is a name, is a brand on its own, and the logo of Labour Party is also a brand on its own. If Abure truly believes in Labour Party, Abure should have given way so that the party can move forward. Because I also remembered Mr. Peter Obi having come public sometimes in February to say it was going to super to see to the audit report of Labour Party, and he has been making effort to do that. But Abure has refused him. He's been frustrating him from doing what he has told the public he was going to do. I think Abure and cronies are trying to as like to play the galleries of their paymasters. Of course, I know if this is not arrested as it stands now, any candidate that will be fielded in 2027 will amount to effort in futility. Take what happens when, for instance, in Zamfara State, where candidates where one somebody was quashed in court. Same thing with Plateau State. And if we are not able to address the situation, every candidate that will emanate, even if Mr. Peter Obi clicks onto the ticket of Labour Party, is going to be quashed in court.
Okay. All right. Now, suddenly, there were some developments in the Labour Party that got some people confused because before now there were two factions in terms of the leadership: the Apapa-led faction and the Julius Abure-led faction. And all of a sudden, Nigerians woke up one morning and saw one Dr. Arabambi who has spared no words in, black, when I say blackmail or disparage or condemn Julius Abure, he has named him, openly accused him of forgery. He has openly called him a forger on national TV. He has said all sorts of things that can't be said to anybody. He has said it to Julius Abure on national TV, and all of a sudden, Nigerians woke up one morning and had the man on TV, on national TV, saying that they are now reconciled and working with Julius Abure. And even in that particular outing, he was still, attacking P2B, condemning P2B, and insulting P2B in that um, presentation. So that has got Nigerians confused. You know, uh, how come we thought Abure and P2B were in the same, in the same room when it comes to the issue of Nigeria. So now the Arabambi who was out there all this while, stoking ethnic and religious, accusations against them and all that, all of a sudden is now working with Julius Abure. What is actually going on?
Yes, I think I can at this level I can only speak for myself because integrity is key. Whatever anybody is doing, anybody can sell or can throw his or integrity for anything. I, Mrs. Oluchi Opara, I would not trade my integrity for anything whatsoever, and that is why people have seen that I've been consistent in saying what I've been saying from day one till this very date. Yes, again, I know Abure and Co might be doing deliberate efforts to make sure that Mr. Pitobi is maybe maybe how do I even put it? Is disenfranchised, or maybe like Mr. Pitobi, maybe if he's thinking that he's with Abure, unknown to him, Abure has other thoughts. So whatever that has to do with Dr. Rabambi, that is him. He has every right to decide what he wants to do and not me. But again, there is this confusion that I'm still trying to wrap my head around, because Rabambi has also come to say that he is a pop sec, and also have Obiora Ifo. At some point, Arabi was speaking for Julius Abure, and Obiora Ifo was somewhere not saying anything. But of late, you now see Obiora Ifo also trying to take that position. But so I don't know what is happening with them. I can only speak for myself that from day one, I've been saying the same thing, and I've been consistent with what I'm saying. So I don't want to join issues with Arabambi, Dr. Arabambi, or anybody. So they have their life to live, while I have mine to live.
Okay, so but in this whole development as it's going, you say you are not sure if Abure is presently working with Arabambi or with Ifo in terms of who speaks for the party.
Because
You're not
I,
so
I am
sure.
confused. I am confused because at some point I saw Dr. Robambi speaking for Abure. Then again, of late, Obiora Ifo is also speaking, and they're also saying that both pop sec of the party. So I don't even know what to believe and what not to believe. So to your tent, O Israel.
Okay. All right. So moving ahead, what do you think from the angle of the NLC? What do you think the NLC needs to do at the moment in terms of, I mean, saving the Labour Party from this issue? Because just yesterday I saw, so I don't know if he's the secretary of the party now. So one old man, I can't remember his name, but he granted a press interview, and yeah, he was accusing the NLC of being sponsored by certain elements to come and destroy the party and deny P2B the presidential ticket. Because everybody is calling on P2B. Everybody is using P2B's name. P2B is like God. Everybody is calling his name. Both those are for him and those who are against. So we don't even know who is for him and who is against him. So the man yesterday was saying that NLC is on a mission to make sure that P2B does not emerge again in the party as the presidential candidate. I mean, who is then for P2B in this whole situation?
Yes, I want to state that NLC is a critical stakeholders of the party. Their role can never be undermined. But the coming of formation of NCC has nothing to do with NLC. That is the lie that they are peddling to make people think that NLC makes up NCC. For goodness sake, if NLC makes up the NCC, I would not have any reason being in their meeting. If it was an NLC gathering, I will not be in the gathering because I am not of NLC. So this lie that are peddling around are trying to make people see NLC in a very bad light. For goodness, NLC is only asking for the right thing to be done for the consent judgment that a man signed without being harassed. He didn't sign under duress for the consent judgment to be obeyed. That is one thing they are asking of, and nothing more, nothing less, to the best of my knowledge. So the coming of the NTC comprises of stakeholders. I'm a stakeholder of the party. That is why I'm a member of NTC. And other stakeholders are also part of NTC. So NLC should not be mentioned in a very bad light because they're trying to create their own narrative to suit what they are doing. And the person said that NLC is being used, it is laughable because they are always quick at throwing stones even when they're living in a glass house. They're always very quick at peddling lies against people. When in the real sense, when in the real sense they are the ones that the tools in the hands of the opposition, that the ones that the opposition is trying to use to make sure that Labour Party does not have a valid candidate for 2027.
Okay. So, what concrete steps from your own perspective? What concrete steps are you seeing the NCC taking to,
The
restore
NCC.
normalcy? Yeah, to restore normalcy to the party. What concrete steps are they taking? And then this convention that everybody is talking about now, when are they looking up to the convention? And what practical, things are they putting on ground to ensure that this convention comes to hold?
Yes, thank you very much. The NTC and some other stakeholders, and especially our elected members at this level, should know that they need to revive this party. They don't need to allow this party to die in the hands of one man who thinks that the Labour Party is his birthright. NTC, they are making every effort to see that INEC and other stakeholders of the party, talking about the elected members, sit together to make sure that there is a wider, an all-inclusive convention. NTC is not even all about who becomes the chairman or who does not become the chairman. They just want it to be an election where if A wins, A will be congratulated. If B wins, B will be congratulated. And this thing lies solely in the hands, not solely now, lies a lot in the hands of our elected members. They should see this as an eye opener to come out to see how to salvage the situation and save the party, because 2027 they will not have a party to run with if this thing is not remedied now.
Yeah, but if you are talking about your elected members and expecting them to intervene in this situation, one may think that you guys may not be reading the handwriting on the wall. Your elected members, do you actually think they are interested in the party? Because they're already jumping ship. Just a few days ago, the senator, one of the oldest senators in the party, cross carpeted to the APC, the ruling party, in a very unceremonious manner. Initially, it came like a rumor. His name was squeezed into a calendar of IPC senators in the Southeast. People started asking questions, no response. And then the next thing we heard was he has switched over to the APC. The APC. And the other members too have all been behaving like members of the ruling party in the National Assembly. None of them has ever disagreed against any issue, even when it's against the people. They have just joined the ruling party to, thumbprint and stamp for the president. So they are behaving already like they're in APC. Do you think they are interested in running again in the Labour Party? Don't you see them all crossing over to the APC, and that's why they are not interested in, fixing the Labour Party?
This is a very tactical question you want me to deal with this evening. And talking about the senator that left the party, Senator Onyewuchi Ezenwa, I want to say in his own case that it's only a tree that hears is going to be cut and still stands. But a human being will make a move. This issue in Labour Party has lingered for a very long time. This issue has been on for the past how many March, April, May, June, July, for 5 months. This issue has been on ground, and they have been making efforts to see that this issue is being resolved. But unfortunately, the man who is playing the card of the opposition, talking about the man who has refused to leave the seat, is not even giving them any headway as to wanting to remedy the party. So if we were in Senator Ezenwa's shoe, what would you have done differently? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's only Labour Party that has even an Okada man win an election in Kaduna State. By the way, may he so rest in peace. Our lawmakers that passed last week, may he so rest in peace. It's only a Labour Party you have, even that you had an Okada man win an election. That's because of the nature, that's because of of what Mr. Peter Obi came to the party with. Because now, talking about people winning election, common man winning election, most of them are not politicians, so they wouldn't even know. And Abure has always blackmailed them into making them believe that if they don't support him, that they're not going to get the ticket of Labour Party. But I am here to tell them now that whether they support Abure, that they're not going to still make it, because any money paid to Abure for tickets in 2027, any candidate that emerges 2027, that person will be quashed in court. In fact, the opposition will just sit down and watch them campaign, after which they go to court, save money and go to court and put them in court, because that is going to stand on a very faulty foundation.
Okay. So if you justify SNY's, I mean, switching over to the APC because of the problem in the Labour Party,
I'm not. I'm
and
not actually. I'm not actually. I'm not actually trying to justify him. Okay, but ordinarily, if the house were to be in order, as the one which is next not would have been taken to court, but because the house is not in order, and the little as giving them, they can only exit the party when the house is not in order, and anybody that has been nursing the idea to leave the party because of these loopholes may just like seek the opportunity to now want to leave. I am still calling on our elected members to remedy this issue, remedy it, and not chicken out and not want to leave the party, because even the party, the place you're going to, they may also have one or two issues they are tackling with. So Labour Party is not the only party that has issue. So do not leave where you are. Try to fix where you are, sort of running off to a place you think that is safe. Unfortunately, no place is safe in politics.
yeah, because that's why I was afraid, from your statement, because it's like you are handing a crossover ticket to the remaining members, because they are now going to say, because of what the situation is, because if you said if you were in his shoes, you have no option. So they will say we are already in his shoes. So I mean, what is holding us back here? Let's move over. So that's why I wanted that clarification, so that tomorrow they don't say, Oluchi said we should move, and that's why we are moving, right?
I'm not saying they should. I'm saying they should fix it. I'm saying they should
Okay.
stand their ground and fix it instead of
Yeah,
moving.
because these days people say, before we had there is fire on the mountain, run, run, run. And these days people are saying there's fire on the mountain, quench the fire, don't run, quench the fire, quench, quench, quench.
Exactly.
That's what we want now.
Exactly.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at the Nigerian issues now. We've looked more on the Labour Party. Let's now look at other issues in Nigeria, especially the protest, the national protest that everybody. By the way, are you going to protest? Are you going to march?
I wouldn't want to give that information here, but I want to say, if you are led in the spirit, because everybody is feeling it, no matter how you look at it. Even the rich, they also cry because they have relatives that are suffering from insecurity. They have relatives that can no longer send their kids to school. They have relatives that can no longer feed properly. So anybody that is led in the spirit to protest, so long as it's going to be a peaceful protest, I am in support of it.
Okay. So give us what the scenario is like. You are a woman, you go to the market every day, because they
Mm.
bandy figures on air, and some of these figures are not understandable to the ordinary man. They come and tell you GDP, they tell inflation rates, they tell you, all these economic high sounding, you know, indicator languages, that the ordinary man doesn't understand. And some of these leaders also, because they are being fed so much with some of these statistics, they don't go to the market, they don't understand how it is to the ordinary person and all that. You, as a woman who goes to the market to buy stuff and make food and all, tell us how painful, how excruciating is the situation in Nigeria, or is it being overblown by people who are claiming that things are bad?
As a woman, now we dey suffer and pass.
Mhm.
Because you're giving money that is already been counted, and every time we have headaches trying to go to the market. Something you buy for 1 naira today, you go to the market, you are not going to see that one for actually for 1 naira, you're seeing it for like 10,000 naira. So the rate in which price of things skyrockets is alarming. Honestly, is alarming. And I want to also think that I don't think Mr. President, Mr. Tinubu, is being informed of the happenings. I think those that are with him are not actually telling him the true situation of how Nigerians are suffering. Take for instance the 70,000 naira that they managed to sign for wage of people working from morning till night, like leaving their houses every morning, taking risk on the road, going to their offices, cannot fuel one's car in a month. And if that cannot fuel your car in a month, then what are we talking about? Where are you going to get money for food? Where are you going to get money for school fees, for health? A whole lot of things. Mr. President, I want to ask you, if your friends cannot tell what is happening, please change your circle because they are not telling you what's happening. Nigerians are suffering, and an angry man and a hungry man is an angry man. You can never tell to what extent, to what level a hungry person can go. Please try and solve this situation. Times are hard.
Okay. The Labour Party, allegedly through Julius Habure, commended the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira approved for Nigerian workers. What's your perspective on that? Do you think it's a right action by the government? Do you think the 70,000 naira is enough? And if it's not enough, assuming the Labour Party is in power, what would you have given to the Nigerian workers?
If Labour Party is in power, I don't think this kind of hardship will be in place. I know it wasn't going to be all rosy, but at least it's not going to be this hard.
What would you have
And for
done
the
differently?
what would have done differently is the price of thing would not have been this high because you're talking about giving somebody 70,000 for a month, a whole 1 month. 1 month is 28 days, working days, 28 working days, and this one man or this woman has a family to take care of. It's not going to be enough. If you're talking about inflation, like or maybe like that okay, because you want a bit of one or two things, you should be able to give them something reasonable because if they own cars, they cannot trying to do things the right way by trying to bring down drastically so that Nigerians will not be having any reason to want to run off. So in fact I've even heard people, a graduate, a doctor, a teacher, going off to Iboman land to go and become a cleaner. That's because the environment is not favorable. The economy is not smiling at anybody. So if Labour Party were to be in power, honestly, believe you me, I know it's not going to be like an easy task, but again, Nigeria will not have had it this bad as we're having it. This is the very first time in my life that I'm seeing something this bad, honestly.
Okay, let's also go to the security agencies because everybody is saying, look, the people that are going to be used, against the protesters are the security agencies, probably the police, the army, and all other military, paramilitary formations. What's your advice, or what are you going to tell them? Do they actually have wives? Do they have children? They themselves, do they actually feed, or do they have a special space where they live that's like different from where the rest of Nigerians are? What kind of thing will you have to tell them in the face of this situation? Because they are the people that will come that day to shoot, to chase people away, to beat people and do all sorts of things to the protesters.
I want to start by asking them, our security agencies, are you happy with your take home? Are you happy with where you're living? Are you happy with the hunger in the land? If you are happy, then congratulations. A whole lot of Nigerians are not happy. So what are you supposed to do? Protect them, guide them to make sure that what they said they want to do as regards the peaceful protest, that it is peaceful. That should be your role. Do not get them intimidated because what they are crying for will at the end of the day help you, help your family, help your relatives, help everybody around you. At the end of the day, you will not have to be fighting insecurity here and there. If all these things are being in place, if things are it's like happens where they ought to happen, I am sure even the security, they will have reason to smile at the end of the month. But unfortunately, what they even take home cannot even take them home. In fact, somebody called me this yesterday and was telling me that she bought a bag of rice for 78. I was like, where? Let me go and buy because I know that it's sold for 8 something thousand naira. When your minimum wage cannot even buy a bag of rice, and you say people should not protest peacefully, people should not protest that they cannot feed, that they can't send their kids to school. In fact, when my kids vacated this term, the books are going to buy alone can pay school fees of 2 or 3 persons before now. But this is just the books, not talk about the school fees. And with this, you can see that some persons might be out of school. So I'm advising our security agencies to please help our youths. Help them. They are your children. They are your brothers and sisters. Do not kill them, please. Encourage them for them to uphold that peaceful protest they want to do. Make sure that it is peaceful. And you as a youth that they want to buy you for you now go and fight your fellow youths because they're trying to protest for what is not right. I want to ask you a question. Where are you living? Are you living in the moon? How much would they give you to go and sabotage the effort of your fellow youths? That money will finish. Fight for what is right. Fight for justice. Fight for everything good in Nigeria. Nigeria used to be the end of Africa, but I cannot say that again because Nigerians are suffering. We are close to Nigerians. We know what people are going through. So please do not allow yourself to be used against your fellow Nigerians. Peaceful protest is welcomed, hence it is peaceful. Thank you.
All right, but the government is yesterday they finished a meeting yesterday, and the government kept appealing to people not to go on the streets, and they ironed out or itemized some of the things they've done. They said they've shared 20 trucks of rice each to every state. They've given the minimum wage we talked about now. They said they've given they are planting rice, and then they're pleading for more time. I mean, should, do you think there should be more time? They should be given more time. Is 1 year not enough? Professor Soyinka said after 1 year he's going to, I mean, come up with his assessment of the government, and it's after 1 year, and Nigerians are waiting. He has not really come out to tell us what his assessment is of the government. But the government is, I mean, pleading for more time. Do you think they need more time?
From the inception of this government, all we have witnessed and noticed has been increments in price of things and insecurity and what have you. And if they're begging for more time, what effort are they making? What are they bringing on the table to tell Nigerian youth we are doing this? Talking about 20 tons of whatever trucks of rice, where we'll have over 200 million Nigerians. If you calculate that, you're talking about 44,000 bags of rice of 25 kg. In a place you have over 200 million Nigerians. Abba now, people should have conscience. Have conscience for goodness sake. If you're talking about them holding off from doing the protest, discuss with this youth. This is what we are going to bring to the table. We're going to make sure that price of fuel, because when oil position, because the price of fuel will come down. Because I believe that once this fuel comes down, because typical market woman will go to the market to buy, will pay high fare in transportation, and after which she's going to add that to what she's selling. People cannot even go to their farms to even plant because of insecurity. Give the youth, okay, we're going to secure your lives. Because from as far as I'm concerned, if you're a leader, because your paramount duty should be security of lives and property. If you're not able to protect life and property, you have not done anything at all. Give them assurances that you're going to protect their lives and their properties, and the price of fuel will come down. By so doing, the youth would have done see that you are making efforts to see that Nigerians are not going to suffer the way they are suffering already, because the suffer in the land is not to be neglected, because there's just hardship in the country.
Okay, and how courageous, I mean, how dogged and how courageous do you think the Nigerian youth should be in this protest? I mean, uh, should it just be sometimes you see there's a difference between what happened in Kenya and what happened in Nigeria. In Kenya, they killed about 20 something people. The people became more resolute, they became more courageous, even in the face of that, but in Nigeria, sometimes like the Lekki incident happened, and everybody, started running helter skelter, and that was the end of it, right? I'm not supporting killing of people, or I'm not talking down on the dead and all that. But then, shouldn't the blood of the dead make the youth more courageous? Even say, look, for the fallen heroes, for these fallen people, we must stand and fight to the end of it. So, how resolute do you think the youth should be when they go out to protest? Should they just chicken out at the slightest, smoke of tear gas?
Yes, the hunger alone in the land is biting real hard. The insecurity is biting real hard. The price of things has skyrocketed, is biting so real hard. And that is why I'm urging the security agencies not to, not to, please, I'm begging you people not to go hard on Nigerians, because it is within the democratic right to protest when things are not going the right way. So if they are not going to harm the protestants, I don't think anybody will want to chicken out. Do you understand? So the onus still lies on them, on our Nigerian government, on the security agencies, not to take it harsh or hard on the protestants. And I want to encourage anybody that wants to join, please make sure it is peaceful. Make sure it is peaceful, please.
Okay. We pray that because peaceful, because just yesterday, Femi Falana has also said that it's government that makes protests go violent, because you see a protest we're going on peacefully like we had in Lekki, and all of a sudden government will go and sponsor some hoodlums to come and attack the protesters, and from there will be fracas, and then it will give them the leeway to now bring in the army and the police and start shooting. Anyway, so as we now go to round off this program, let me ask you, the last time you were on Arise TV talking about Julius Abure, there was a response from Abure. He said you defamed him, and he's going to, file, processes, or go to court against you to seek claim damages and all that. So, are you in court presently? Has he filed a suit?
I'm still waiting.
Really? Okay, because I remember vividly he said when he came for his right of reply, he said he has already briefed his lawyers and they are going to commence action against you. So I thought by now, you would have been, in the court answering, But do you still hold on to your claims about some of the documents you said were forged? And some of the monies you also claimed were withdrawn from the purse of the Labour Party uh, unprocedurally.
If I, at my age, I wouldn't come out public to ridicule myself. If I wasn't sure that the dead man's signature was used to withdraw money after his death, I would not be saying that. If I wasn't sure that monies were being diverted from Labour Party's account to wife's account, to company's account, to staffers' account, only for the money to end up in his account, I wouldn't want to say that. So everything I say, I know the implication of what I've said. And I still say it. And if I'm not sure that the audit of that report was doctored and that they did not do the right thing, I will not come out to say that monies were not embezzled. I came out to say things that I'm very sure of. So I know the implication of what I've said, and I know I want to also protect my name, so there won't be any point of me coming to make a mess of my name and myself. So
Okay.
everything I said initially, I stand by it.
Okay. So, have you, alerted the EFCC with all this information? If you have done so, have you noticed any action? Has there been any response?
Yes, I have alerted the EFCC, they're aware of this, and I wouldn't want to give more information on that because the EFCC is working on it.
Okay. Okay. So, on this note, we are going to be drawing the curtain, and I want to thank you for the program. By the way, how is the family in Abuja, and your kids and all that? I hope.
I didn't, I didn't hear that. What did you say?
I said, by the way, your family, your kids. I hope they are not disturbed by what is happening in the Labour Party.
It is well. They only know that their mother is trying to do things the right way. It's in this part of the country. When people try to strive to write their names in gold, or tries was like want to be outstanding, maybe like stand differently from things going the usual way. People tend to desert them, but that's by the way. The real thing is that I'm having the support of my family and some persons who also believe in integrity and the true democracy and what have you. So they understand that their mother is facing one or two at the moment, but I will bounce back and the truth must come out.
Okay.
someday.
All right. Finally, we have Kamala in America, a lady who may actually become the first black female president in America. Does that give any inspiration to ladies like you who are in Nigeria? And does it give you hope that the political space could be expanded more to accommodate more women in Nigeria?
Of course, because when you talk about politics, talk about women, who owns this vote? It is we and our children or that own this vote. The men don't actually come to vote. It is we that come out to fight for what we believe in. But again, the environment, the situation does not really favor women. You have the families. Some families will not allow their wives, their mothers to venture into politics. You have some religion will not allow their wives, their mothers to venture into politics. You have some women being given unprintable names like she's important, oh she's sleeping around or this or that. You understand? There are some lot of things that made women to be advanced. And again, financial muscles, because there were men that have been at the forefront over the years, and they have all the financial muscles again to fight against women. And again there is this thing again that scares every woman or women when they want to change. Oh, this is staggering, because we women, we give life, we bet life, we cannot take life. But men, they don't care, so long as this, if this is standing on their way and this is going to dismantle what they're doing, they wouldn't mind dismantling that. But women, we cannot take life. But that's notwithstanding, I'm encouraging every woman, if you truly believe in your heart, that is laid down in your heart, that you want to change the face of democracy, want to change one thing for good, please do not be discouraged, because it will not be a bad idea if a woman becomes president of Nigeria, becomes governor of that your state. A woman is a woman, and a woman will do things the right way. So I'm encouraging women to venture into politics. Please grow thicker skin. Do not listen to what anybody is saying. Grow thicker skin and venture into politics and change the lives of people around you.
Well, on that special sermon to women, I want to thank you, Oluchi Opara, for being our guest today on We the People program. And we hope that subsequently, from time to time, we'll always call on you to, participate in our programs and speak on the myriad of issues that are facing our people. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so on this note, we are going to draw the curtain for the day. Dear viewer, we want to thank you for participating in our program today. That's the much we can go, for the program today. You had it all from Oluchi Opara, who is the immediate past treasurer of the Labour Party in Nigeria. She's been able to give us some insight into what is happening in the Labour Party and the prospects, what holds for the party. We hope to, move from there. From time to time, we'll bring her on board to also give us updates on what is going on. All right, I'll be signing off now, and I want to thank you for watching. Remember, I told you that this channel is the premier online TV station in Imo State. Our head office is in Imo State. We are located at Port Harcourt Road, the NUT Plaza, the third floor. That's where we are located. So if you have anything you want us to cover for you, please do come there. I told you we have the state of the art equipment for event coverages, be it marriage ceremony, burial, graduation, whatever ceremony occasion you have, we have everything to give you a resounding coverage, state of the art. And then if you have issues also you want us to know, please use our contact to reach out to us and let us know. On this note, I want to thank you for participating and tell you we're going to come back again on Thursday for another edition of this program. Until come that time, I remain Obidima and I say, may God continue to bless you.